Timberwolves follow up having their lowest scoring quarter of the season in their previous game, with having the lowest scoring half of the season in this one. And it goes down as a 15-point win on the second night of a back-to-back without Rudy Gobert. But that was a lot of bad, discouraging basketball through a lot of it, categorized mostly through that first half, that the Timberwolves would trail 45-42. We held the Brooklyn Nets to under 35% shooting and about 17% shooting from three in that half, and we were still losing due to having more turnovers. We had 8 turnovers in that first half. We weren't moving the ball. Our stars were seeing a lot of contact for the second night in a row, and the refs weren't whistling those. They were getting frustrated, still forcing things, working through doubles with contact and not moving the ball. And we have this barometer that Jim Pete brings up all the time, where you can tell how much the ball is moving by Jaden McDaniels' involvement in the game. I wrote down only his box score after that first half for specific players, and he had 1 point, 1 foul, 1 rebound, 3 turnovers, minus 15 for the half, with I think 16 minutes. But that's just to demonstrate, hey, we're not moving the ball. He's not involved. And then in that second half starts, Jaden McDaniels comes out with the worst body language of a Timberwolf this season. It's just clear he did not want to be on the court. You can tell with decisions he's making. Like he's cutting away from the ball but not looking for the ball and kind of jogging, just making sure it's not going to be moved over to him at some point. And defensively, he was just doing the littlest he could. And it was very clear, I want out of this game. And he did get taken out after maybe 4 minutes. Nikhil came in. Nikhil had the worst shooting night he's had maybe all season, doesn't make one. And that's become a pretty rare thing for Nikhil. It was very frequent last season where it felt like we got amazing Nikhil and horrible Nikhil that just oscillated all the time. This season, he's really steadied out, and he just ended a streak of making threes in a row that I think was in the teens. Finally has a really bad shooting night. So he couldn't make up for McDaniels' really lethargic game. And although McDaniels was terrible in the first half and then responded with apathy and get me out of this game, he actually would make some big plays in that fourth quarter when he got a second chance in the second half. Made 2 big triples. He clearly didn't really want to be out there still, but he actually contributed, which was needed on a night where we could not get many contributions for just about anyone. Except for, I will say, the one bright spot of that first half that was so bad was some Monte Morris minutes that really popped. He was making some really quick plays. He had a stretch where Mike Conley was on the court with him, and if you want to integrate a player, make him feel comfortable, playing with Mike Conley, one great way to do it, even though Monte is kind of brought in to be his substitute, essentially. But Monte had back-to-back plays where he got open looks for corner threes. One of them was made for Mike Conley, and then 2 possessions later, he got another 3 from Mike Conley. Gets a back pass to Naz Reid for a slam. Naz Reid also with some fun defensive plays in this one. Had 3 blocks. He's always been a great rim protector, or well, a great shot blocker. We'll give him that. Some of the other elements of his defense are a little spotty. Also Naz. Oh, he had a horrible fall in that second quarter. Looked like we were going to be without Rudy and Naz. Thankfully, he was able to return in the game. Gets his 3rd block in that second half after that injury that looked like it could have been something that would have last. And Cat gets a little banged up in this game too. Anthony Edwards gets a little banged up in this game. Ant was 6 of 17 at one point. Saw a lot of contact, as I was saying. His jumper wasn't going for the second night in a row. And he's just pissed. Gets teed up by the official with just a ton of complaining, a complete barrage at him, which I thought was deserved. Maybe not for the call that he freaked out about, or the non-call that he freaked out about, but there was so much contact all night that Ant was just not getting rewarded for, and he just kind of blew up. And then after that point, he was hitting shots. Like, he closed out that fourth quarter, knocking things down, closing that game out, and just taking control in the end. And happy for that, at least in a game that was hard to watch through most of it. Karl Anthony Towns was the most steady performer on offense, where, however, he was hitting shots, still not composed in some areas and still having some turnovers, the normal Cat things that I'll complain about, and his uppercut, upper curl, where he just grabs the defender's arm like that. Everyone scouts that, including the opposing teams and the officials, as they should. And so he gets called for it all the time. I don't know how it's still part of his game. Jim Pete made the same comment. Drives me insane. But this was a very helpful cat game. He got us through most of it. Last thing I want to point out is that slow-mo came to play. He got the start for Rudy Gobert, had plenty of floaters in the lane that were big time. 12 and 9 out of him. Also, there was a stretch closing this game in the fourth that really gave us our final cushion, that Kyle Anderson was running point, Anthony Edwards was the shortest player on the court. We still have great shooting in that lineup, with Nas and Cat being the bigs, Jaden being the last player not mentioned in there. It was an ugly win. It doesn't really matter. It's tolerable to watch offense, please. We can do it. All right.